I will become a YouTuber, and that is not even a question. And I had that same mindset even when I was.
So here we are with another YouTuber. This one is specifically for Echo, one of the biggest content creators in the Echo space at the moment. Throughout the interview, and particularly at the end, I really applaud them on how they're approaching their YouTube content, particularly the consistency in how they're uploading, and their just like intuition and how clocked on they are with the algorithm, allowing them to have that success. This is a person that picked up the game during the first day of the quest beta, stayed up till midnight, smashing out the game, playing the game, and just had, like, YouTube was their thing in terms of content creation. That was their lane. And like before the interview, I was looking up on the VRL website trying to find like their team profile and all of that. I wanted to like spook them out a little bit by mentioning that, and there's nothing there. This person literally didn't even go that route of competitive play. They just went into content creation. And on their particular channel, you can go back because they're 16, almost 17 at the time of recording this, and their earlier videos, they're like 12, 13 years old. They're 4 years ago. So it's really interesting to see their voice break. They now have the voice of a 16, 17-year-old, but those early videos that they made and like blew up and did really well, it's a squeaker. They're a little squeaker. But yeah, we'll get into this. We obviously talk about the shutdown. Like at the time of recording, this is like 10 days till it's about to be shut down, so it's very hot news. And like, what are they going to do going forward? They've really invested in Echo being their niche, thinking about like the next replacement games that are coming up. But yeah, we would explore why Echo, why dive into Echo specifically, why they've stayed there for 4 years, and why they continue to do so at a very consistent rate. One of my favorite content creators in the Echo space. This is Trentic YouTube. Let's get into it.
Trentic,
Yeah.
where'd you go?
We're just waiting.
No, we're ready. We're good to go. We're started.
Oh, are we recording right now?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, okay. What's up?
What's up?
What's poppin'? I don't know. Is
One-
there like, do you say welcome to Top of the Pop? Whatever you
No,
always do.
normally I just go straight into it. We just start asking questions and like see how it goes.
That's pretty epic. Well, I got a question
Yeah.
for you. What are you gonna do with this podcast once it shuts down and you no longer have access to the pop?
I don't know. I haven't got an answer. Do you have any ideas?
I mean, maybe there's like some. No, I'd say VR chat because I know my friend. You know, Condog. He's already been on there.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd say do that, except VR chat scares me, so I can't really suggest that. I don't like
Why does it scare you? I mean, I can guess the answer, and it probably won't be
yeah,
safe for
and
work.
we're gonna keep it in that guest area if we want to keep this thing to get pushed out to the algorithm.
Fair play.
We're just gonna keep it from being age restricted, but if you know, you know. Yeah, maybe.
Algorithm. Well, let's start with that. Let's
Yes.
use that as the first topic. You have a YouTube channel, Trentic YouTube,
I actually have a
YT.
Kick channel. I'm just kidding.
but I had a look. So what I'd like to do, especially if I'm interviewing a YouTuber, I like to go back and see like their early videos.
Oh
And you're-
no! Oh no! Oh no! No! I only up because they have a lot of views. No! I'm
Okay.
13 in that. Give me a break.
I wasn't going to start with that, but I'll start with it anyway because you just brought it up.
Okay.
You were 13, and if anyone goes back and watch those videos, assuming you leave them up by the time this is out, your voice is so high pitched.
That is my most popular video is in that series, the tips and tricks video. Of course, that's staying up. Money in the bag.
You sound
just
so
kidding.
different. So you must be
I
like
know, right?
17 now?
No, I'm 16.
16, okay. So you were 13 when
should
you
be
first
17.
did those videos, and your
I should
voice
be
is
17.
completely different.
Yeah. I should be 17, but unfortunately I was born at a very young age, and so because of that, I'm 16 right now. It's very, very unfortunate times, but we persevere. The challenges.
Yeah, I like the consistency of your sense of humor, and like,
Yeah.
I guess this is why like making videos comes naturally, right?
Yeah. Oh man, honestly, should we stay on the algorithm topic? Because if you want, I can go on the whole. I can give you the origin story.
Let's do that.
I can.
Origin story.
You
Let's
want
do
the
that.
Trentic origin story? Perfect for the chapters. Okay.
Yes,
So
please.
it's so as from the outside perspective for all of you watching this right now, it just seems like at 13 I just started making videos and all of a sudden everything just started coming naturally. Because if you go back and see the tips and tricks videos, those are still some of my most popular videos. Like one of them is my most popular video with 23,000 views. I'm very ashamed of it, but also 23,000 views. We take that bag. So I actually started watching. I was basically like I was the what you would classify as the early 2010s Minecraft YouTube kid. I grew up watching DanTDM, Stampy Longhead, popular MMOs, which we shall not talk about, and all the other like crazy OG Minecraft YouTubers. Spoiler alert, he got arrested 3 times. But anyway. And so I grew up watching them in my childhood, and one thing that I really just wanted to do from a very early age was basically just make YouTube videos, because it's all that I saw my favorite creators doing, and I'm like, this is something that I want to do. But unfortunately, I was 7. And so because of that, my parents, who love me very much, kept me off the internet for very obvious reasons. Big ups on their part. But I eventually got to a point when I turned 13, where I asked my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm 13 years old. Can I start a YouTube channel? And my mom took me, patted me on the shoulder, looked at me in the eyes, and said, Son, no. And I was like, dang. And so one thing you might need to know is that my parents are divorced. So when I was going on a visit with my dad, I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I'm 13. Can I start a YouTube channel? And he turned, looked at me, put his hand on my shoulder, and said, Son, yeah, sure, why not? And I was like, big bucks, let's go! And that's usually how I get away with stuff that I don't usually actually like doing. My mom hates me, but you know, it's a dub. My mom doesn't actually hate me, but it's a big dub because I got to start it, and then I started making YouTube videos. And actually, the first video that I started out with, it's the public one. That's my first public one. However, I actually have a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you want to find it, it's unlisted, so you can find, or I think it's public actually. So if you want to find it, you can. All of my OG videos that weren't related to VR before the tips and tricks.
Trentic memes.
Because no.
No. Okay.
I started that because I wanted to break the algorithm one day, and I succeeded. It was very fun. But it's called, I'm very ashamed to say it because it's the name of my old channel, but the playlist is called The Era of Lucky Sniper 71. I'm gonna go hide now. I gotta go process everything that I just said. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die. I hate that name, but it was a placeholder, and I just went with it. But I'm never trusting a random name generator again. But in that playlist has all of my OG videos, because I actually didn't start YouTube at 13. Plot twist, I started at 12, which I don't know if that's going to get me banned, but I hope not. But that has, so if you thought my voice was high in my Echo VR videos, you should see my real first video, because that thing is still unlisted and you can go find it. And it's literally titled Welcome to My Channel. I had it as my channel trailer for like the longest time, and yeah, that's really the origins of my YouTube channel. I mean,
And that's
from
a
there,
different channel, right?
everything was
That's not
public.
that's not the
No,
one
it's
that
the
we
same
know.
channel. The
It's
same
one.
channel.
Okay.
Yeah, same channel. I just changed the name and branding.
Are you gonna put it back up?
I'm not one of those. At least in the beginning, I wasn't one of those people who had a YouTube channel, failed at it, and then went and started a completely new one. No, I stuck with the same channel, which mainly because all of my subscribers, which were originally just like my IRL friends, they were already subscribed to it. So I'm not going to be like, hey, go subscribe to this channel and then this channel and this channel. But later on, I mean, you've seen my featured channels list. Later on, I branched out and I started making more channels for just stuff that I felt like doing, because I noticed that later on there was some reoccurring things that I want to do, like making memes or like a YouTube growth channel. Like I saw those and my like creative juices just started flowing. And occasionally, I mean multiple times on the occasion, I'll just get inspiration or like that, that 3 a.m. motivation. I'm just like, you know what, I'll make a video for this channel. It's pretty nice, honestly. It's great.
You said about the meme channel, and
Yeah,
you
the
said
meme
you
channel.
wanted to. You said your intention was to break the algorithm. What does that mean?
Just because one thing I noticed is that the algorithm was very retention based, and I noticed that meme channels had a lot of very quick success. Also, I watch memes a lot, so I kind of get that humor. That's probably also why I do so well with humor with my audience, is because they're literally my age, so it's my target demographic. I am my own target demographic, but it's like because it's so retention based. If you post like a 3-second thing and then don't tag it as a short, instead do it in video format, somehow that just breaks it. Like it actually breaks the algorithm. And I did it. One of my most popular video on the meme channel has 87,000 views. So I think it's safe to, and multiple videos on that, or if you call them videos because they're short, but they have like tens of thousands of views. It's insane.
And this was about a year ago you did this, and you're saying you did normal videos rather than shorts, and that was better than doing shorts.
Yeah, very much.
That's weird.
I know it was very weird. I think the algorithm patched itself though, because none of the videos do like that crazy anymore. But
how did you know that would work?
I didn't. It was just a hunch. I think about you whenever I'm like not doing anything. I'm usually thinking about YouTube or the algorithm or my audience. One thing I've recently wanted to do, and if you can like notice on my community posts, like I'm asking a lot, I'm like, one of my goals on YouTube is to get what is called 1,000 true fans. And that's not like dissing any of the regulars. I love you guys. You're amazing. But there was this article from like the early 2010s that basically outlined the 1,000 true fans concept. And that's if you can get about 1,000 true fans who will support you in anything you do and buy anything that you put out, whether in that case, like back then it was like maybe a book or a t-shirt or stuff like that, but now it's like YouTube memberships, donating to you regularly and stuff like that. If you can get 1,000 of those people, no matter how big you are on YouTube, you're set. Like you can make a living off of it. And so that's kind of my goal right now. And I like in my recent community posts, like I've been kind of like testing the water subtly and being like, okay, so how many of the true fans do I have? I'm still like narrowing it down. I don't have an exact number, especially.
Well, how do you measure that? How, like in your certain circumstance? What is it? Is that like a Patreon?
You know when you take a you know how community posts have that text poll? It's partly surveying, looking at analytics and seeing who's donated to me and how much they've donated to me, and also taking a look at my my members. Because because if somebody's like reoccurringly giving me like $25, like my Trend Tabernacle, Mr. Stick 62, cough, thank you very much. It's like very easy to. It's like if I could get 1,000 Trend Tabernacles, and they'd all be paying me $25 a month, like that would be. I don't know. It's summer. I'm not doing math, but it'll be enough to make a living. And so that's really my main goal. Wow, I'm lost. I went down. You made me go down the rabbit hole. I'm lost now. I need to please redirect me back on track.
Well, I think we've started off really well. You're talking about because you're known for your YouTube and you're clearly very talented at it. I went back to your the first videos that I could see on your main channel, and they were these these videos where you have a very squeaky voice when you're 13.
Yeah, barely any editing.
They're doing numbers.
Yeah, it was barely any I had barely any editing. Back then I used the built-in video editor for Windows. And it was like worse than iMovie. It was so bad, but somehow I was able to get like the bare bones of editing and commentary. I remember my old microphone was a clip-on microphone that I don't know how my dad arranged it, and I don't know why I keep emoting. I hit the emotes.
Yeah.
but it was like some crazy. It was like a clip on the desk, and then a clothing hanger, and at the very top of the clothing hanger there was the microphone, and that's how I would talk in it. And it was like, oh man, and somehow I pitched it together. And when I posted that first tips and tricks video, because I said it in that video, but the first time I ever played Echo was on the original Oculus Quest when it came out for its open beta, which it never left, even while being shut down. I stayed up to like midnight playing it, and that was like almost a 13-year-old, which was insane bedtime. So I stayed up so much playing it. I actually, fun fact, the Rec Room YouTuber Gecko VR by any chance?
It rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, I actually met him in Echo on the first day, and he was like recording a video. I still remember it because I went and checked out his channel after, and I was like, oh my gosh, YouTuber, he's doing what I want to do. But
what you want to do. So for the timeline, when you first played the Quest beta for Echo, you weren't a YouTuber, or you weren't like consistently making videos.
Yeah, you could classify it. I only had about like 100 or so subscribers.
But you were making videos before, and these were Minecraft videos, or?
It was Roblox, Minecraft. Had a brief stunt where I made Five Nights at Freddy's video, but we don't have to talk about that. And yeah, just anything I could post. Apex Legends. Like, I tried everything. But and what I was mainly watching at the time and I think that's what was my weakness. I'm still so jealous of these creators, but they're so big that it's understandable why they would pull the numbers that they do. It's like, those creators that like they have commentary, but they have like barely any editing. Like it'll literally be like like those gaming YouTubers, like the ones I can name out, like Markiplier. I mean, he has an editor, but like early Markiplier, where he didn't edit a lot. Like another one that I watched for Apex was a dude called Zilbrad. He was really good at Pathfinder. And those people, they would just play games and they would have commentary over it. And what I realize now with a more developed brain is that the reason why they didn't have to edit anything is because they were really good at their games, and so that's why people wanted to watch them. I was not good at the games because I was 12. Most of the people in real life know me for is willpower. Like, if there is something that I put my mind to, it will be done. Like, it's not even a question. And that's the same thing with YouTube. I will become a YouTuber, and that is not even a question. And I had that same mindset even when I was 13. I was like, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is my passion. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. And then I did. And I would keep making videos, and I'd keep on that grind, and I'd watch all the YouTube gurus who would tell me baseless information that ended up actually being really helpful, and I would just never listen to it. But it's like, this is like, it's like a ticket to stardom, but doing something that I've done my entire life. It's like I'll never have to work again because I'm enjoying it. What is work if you enjoy it? It's not really working. Because nobody enjoys work. Come on, let's be real here. That's why people procrastinate. If I'm doing something that I enjoy and I can make a living off of what I enjoy, that is like peak human. That is peak happiness, peak mental health, as long as I stay off Twitter. Peak health, speaking of. Yeah, and it also opens up because with YouTube, I don't have to post consistently for people to watch my videos. And even then, it's basically like I think I'm making like right now like about $1 a day, but that's with 3,000 subscribers. Like right now, it's continuously increasing. And with the release of my latest video, when a video pops off, like my Roblox one that just released, which is talking about it killing Rec Room, now I'm making $2 a day, at least until that one starts to die off in terms of momentum. And like, it's really good because one of the other things that I like to do in real life is volleyball. And so if I can like go play volleyball or go to the grocery store and know like I'm not like wasting any time, and like I have this video here that's basically like carrying what's going on back home. It's just, it's a lifestyle that I feel was made for me. Like, I've always been one, maybe, I don't know if this is healthy, And I'm sure if my parents are watching this, Mom, I'm very sorry, but the concept of sitting at a computer and playing video games all day and making money is like, that's dream. That's amazing. I did not mean Dream the YouTuber. I mean, that obviously is Dream the YouTuber, but that's a dream. And that is like what I feel like is ideal for me.
Where's the motivation come from though? Like, because everything you're saying is like is on point, is correct, and it's a very healthy mindset to drive you forward in your YouTube career. But where did that come from? Like, were you just consuming that kind of YouTube content when you were 13?
Yeah. Oh no, it was ever since I could remember.
Yeah.
Like, because my mom was a single mom, and so she did a lot of work, and in order to make sure that I didn't like go run and get hit by a car or something, like, I don't think she really minded that much that I was like watching a little extra of TV or playing on the iPad a little bit. But it's like, the motivation to find it has been kind of just like, I've been doing this my entire life. After those YouTubers were the reason like why I got Minecraft in the first place and enjoyed it just as much and made those memories with my friends. I think it was just the motivation is just because I feel like in YouTube in some form is like a part of me in some way. And I feel like that's why I want it. That's partly why I want to do it, is because it'll basically allow me to have an outlet for creativity. It will it motivates me to continue doing more. I can see the fruits of my labor equally, and those fruits of labor it's not just for myself. Like, let's think about it like this. If a painter paints something but then stores that painting in their closet, even if it's the greatest painting ever, and if you think it's like when someone says they can't draw and then they paint the Mona Lisa, it's like, you deserve recognition, but you don't think you deserve recognition. It's like, I put myself in a state where it's like, I also get motivation because people are like, hey, what you're doing is really cool and you should keep going with this. And so even the times when I feel like demotivated, I'm like, what I'm doing isn't that good, and I can totally do better. And then I see people, and other people in like my comments are like, people straight up telling me, they're like, hey, what you're doing is super impressive and you just keep going at it. I think that's primarily my main motivation. That, and also I can make money off of it, so I can turn it into a job. That's also really nice.
What part of the process of making these videos do you enjoy the most? Is it like telling the news? Is it the editing? Is it the like playing and just being yourself?
I definitely say the process that I least enjoy, at least right now. It'd either have to be editing the video, because sometimes it can get tedious, or trying to come up with titles. I don't know why. That's the one weakness I have. Like, I'm getting really good at doing thumbnails, but man, I cannot come up with good titles for the life of me. It's like, ugh. I just have to, like, one tactic that I use whenever I like, and it's like working for me a lot. One tactic that I use is I like to kind of imagine myself in the thought of like if I was like Markiplier, or if I was Dan TDM, what would I title this video? And sometimes because every YouTuber has their like own style of titling. Like, some do it in all caps, some do parentheses, not clickbait, gone wrong, gone sexual, cops. some do just the basic title and then add a ... at the end to entice curiosity. And just combining all of that allows for me to at least create like good titles, but it's also kind of a sporadic style because I'm always like changing things up depending on what the video is. So that's something that I need to work on. Editing, it's just a tedious process for me. I mean, it's amazing for the creative outlet. Like, that's why any YouTuber does YouTube. Like, editing is so they can express themselves creatively. And that part I enjoy. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of just sometimes it can get tedious. And as I've stated before, like, when I hate leaving stuff on the table, like willpower, I will get it done. So even if I feel creatively drained, I'm still going to work on that video and I'm going to get it done. So
side note, that's why your thumbnails are very good. I went back
Thank
looking at the
you.
old ones.
Yay! Yay! I got recognized for something. Thank you. I appreciate it. It took a long time with a lot of Google images to find all my resources. But yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Man,
like you put a lot of research into it and like practice and making those thumbnails good. They're very good.
I know.
You
Putting
smashed that
googly
part.
eyes over echoarena characters is a lot of work, guys. You don't even understand.
But I was gonna say about you taking like Markiplier's style of doing titles, someone else's style
Yeah.
of doing titles. Would you say that you found your own style in terms of
Yeah.
like the
I would
video
definitely say I
editing,
found my own.
the thumbnails, the titles?
I would definitely say I found my own style. One person that I've actually, because originally I started with that, but one person I've started to copy more and more, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna be blatant about this. I've started to copy more VR YouTubers. Like I started to copy Thrill Seeker, VR Oasis, BMF, and then one of my good online friends, Viewy, which was recently on this podcast.
Yes,
Shout
yeah,
out
he
to
was.
Viewy, homeboy, fellow Utah. We love to see it. And I think I would say that I found like my own style, but it doesn't feel like my own. Like I know it's my own style, but it doesn't feel like it because it's a combination of all the other styles.
I have
I wouldn't
noticed
really
that.
call
It's
it that.
funny you mentioned about Thrill Seeker. I felt that, particularly your Roblox Rec Room one. When watching it felt very like the narrative of it. It felt very Thrill Seeker.
Yes, that's good because he's the most popular VR YouTuber, not by subs, but by people who know him. So, if if it feels like a Thrill Seeker video, that is a dub for me, Mr. 3,700 subs. We will take that. Yeah, one person I think is like really, but also I feel like because oh man, it's like I feel like sometimes I don't do enough editing, and I think occasionally I see that like reflected in my audience retention. But I'm a VR commentary channel. You know what a commentary channel is, right? Like describe what you think a stereotypical commentary channel is.
I think it means you're telling a story, so you're like a journalist. Is that right? So like Thrill Seeker, you're observing what's going on and then you're reporting it.
That is a
in
way
a
more
way
sophisticated answer than I thought. I was thinking more like gaming commentary, where it's like somebody doing Counter-Strike Surf gameplay, and they're talking about the latest drama or something, and it's like very bare bones editing. In terms of that's the type of commentary I go for. But like, in terms of those channels, like I do above and beyond editing, and I think that's with the expectation that people place on me, like subtly because they see commentary and they're like, oh, for a commentary channel, this is great editing. Like they actually like put the effort in. It's like, but I feel like compared to like Thrill Seeker or like Viewy and stuff, I feel like if those people saw my channel and the success that I was getting with the amount of editing that I do, I feel like they would be kind of mad. Like it's kind of like I look at I know some YouTubers who look at like smaller or even bigger VR YouTubers than them who like have that like similar style where it's like they don't really do much editing, or like some people I know some VR YouTubers who are mad, who like are kind of salty that Happy 147 is so big because he does like very little editing, and I'm like, dog, the reason why he's big is because it's straight his personality.
Is this the one? Is that the Jesus YouTube guy?
It's the pig guy. It's the pig guy. He's very smooth-brained. He plays whatever he wants, and he's basically who I aspire to be.
Okay. I don't think I know them. I'll check them out.
Oh, you don't? You should check him out. He's a very fun guy. He always his editing is so simplistic and minimalistic. It's kind of a vibe, honestly. Like he'll even use the same music in multiple videos, which is something that I don't even dream of doing. Like I feel like I have to find like a different song for every video, and if I reuse it, it's like not gonna be as good for me. I mean, occasionally I will reuse music, but it's like a very slim chance compared to what he does.
You seem
anyway though.
Maybe this is because right now you're releasing very frequently. You appear to be uploading, but daily, would you say, or like every couple of days? No.
Take a look at You take a look at the past 4 days. We got 0 video, 0 video, 0. I'm definitely that uploading daily streak. No, that's gone. But mainly because
it felt like it though, because I was getting the pings from the Hex server, and it
Oh,
felt like
really?
every day it was like, oh,
Oh,
content
sorry, I
ping.
didn't mean to annoy you that much. Man,
Uh,
I am so happy that they gave me content ping for that, because then whenever I make something Echo VR related, that thing always shoots up to like 1 out of 10 best video. I'm just like, yeah, 1,000 viewers in the first 24 hours. We love to see it. Oh man, that content ping. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm getting off track. Should we get back to what? I feel like I veered completely out of the water.
You're doing absolutely fine. This is really good. But I want to. We spent the last 20 minutes talking about YouTube, your journey with YouTube, and the style that you try and develop. And it feels like that's because you're really in it right now. You're in the echo chamber of being a content creator,
Fun
specifically in
fact: I
this
have a
niche that
series
we
on my
live in.
channel literally called the Echo Chamber.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
well, I'm going to change the subject now, and I want to ask
Go
about
ahead.
you. Well, we already know because you mentioned it that you played Echo on the first day of the beta, stayed up till midnight playing on Quest.
Tips and tricks.
How long did you have VR for before, and how did you get into VR?
I didn't have okay. Well, let's start at the way I got into VR. So
Yeah.
it's like early 2019. I'm chilling in California with my dad because that's where I used to live. I've actually recently moved now, but um so I was in California and I was with my dad and we were looking at things to do, and because I was on a visit with him, and we saw on Google, we were like, oh, there's this place called Warrior VR Arcade. I don't know if that place is still up. Maybe it got hit during COVID, but looking at the place, we were just like, oh, that seems like something very fun. And before that, I watched, kind of similar to how Viewy actually, I watched like some of my OG favorite YouTubers play VR, like the Valve Index and stuff like that. I think the one I most remember is Dan TDM's Job Simulator video, but so we did that. I'm like, sure, why don't I go try out VR? Because I'd never tried VR before, and it was such an interesting concept for me. But when we went there and I booted up Minecraft VR for the first time, and that same feeling of booting up Minecraft for the first time came to me, I was like, whoa, this is insane. Like, it felt like I found something, which now I realize I found like my calling, like of what I want to do with my life. And it was right there in that moment. It was some feeling like a dopamine rush, I guess is the best way I can describe it, when I found what I
Can you
wanted to
elaborate
do.
on that? Why was that a dopamine rush to see the platform of VR as
I
opposed to
honestly,
just normal
I don't
pancake
know.
gaming?
That's not really something that I could explain. I wish I could. Maybe it was nostalgia, or maybe it was God or fate or something, but like, it's a feeling that I'll never forget. And partially that's the main reason why maybe that's even a center of why I was able to stay motivated to do everything that I wanted to do, was that maybe it was just a pre-planned path for me. But
What was this
making
moment? What are you talking about? The first time you tried VR, or is it even
yeah,
just the
first
first time you
time.
saw
It
it?
was at a VR arcade.
Yeah.
They said, hey, you could try Minecraft VR. I'm like, oh, okay. And I
Okay.
tried it, and I was like, whoa. And this was like when I was 12, and then later on, and so sorry, dust. Later on, after we tried that, I played some other games like Elven Assassin. That thing hurt the crap out of my arm. And I think it was Elven Assassin in Minecraft VR that me and my dad played. My dad, actually, what was very interesting, I think it hit my dad too, because he's just as passionate about VR, or maybe even sometimes I'd say more passionate about VR than me. And he's a beast at population one. He's insane. And he's talked to me about like, hey, maybe I should start a YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, go for it. And then he never records his gameplay, which is very sad because he's a super good player. But he but I guess we both just got that passion for it. And later on, when the Mark Zuckiewucky Barbecue Sauce the Third announced the Oculus Quest 1, that was the only thing I wanted for Christmas. My dad got it for me that Christmas that it released. I think it was 2019 was when it released, but man, when I got that and I put it on and I heard that startup bing, which does not exist now, which I'm still very mad that Meta took out the starting ding because I love that thing. And I'm sorry, I'm gone on a tangent here, but when I heard that for the first time and I got transformed into the world through that tutorial, wow, it was love at first sight. And then I picked up Rec Room Paintball, and then I questioned everything.
How are
But,
you with
yeah.
the nausea when you first started playing VR?
Nope, never had it. Never been
Oh,
motion
sweet.
sick. Never been car sick. Never had it. I'm just built like that. Very epic. I'm just
Can
like
you
that.
tell me about Echo? Was it really like the first day of the beta you played it, and then did
Yeah.
you?
My dad
Was it
was
literally
the
black
one
and
who
white?
told me. My dad was the one who told me because I think he saw a news article about it or something like that. And maybe it was from Upload VR, but he's like, "Hey Gavin, there's this cool game where it's like Ender's Game in VR," and I'm like, "Why don't you try it? It's free." And keep in mind, we didn't buy a lot of Quest games because we both had an Oculus Quest. Because after my dad tried mine, he's like, "Okay, I got to get one for myself." And so he's like, "Why don't we play it together?" And so I'm like, "Okay." And I downloaded it and I played it. And I think my first game, I actually got a mercy win because back then I could actually be good at Echo, contrary to now. And I think that was partially because I told my dad, I'm like, "Dad, I'm really good at this game." And he was like, "Okay, then why don't you make a YouTube video on it?" Because around this time, I'd probably been about around like a year since or like maybe near like the end of a year of when I had started my YouTube channel. And he was like, "Yeah, I wanted to make a video on it." I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I ended up making a video on it. I remember myself making the thumbnail for that video.
This was
I
the tips and tricks, or was it something
Yes,
else? Yeah.
Echo VR tips and tricks for beginners.
Yeah.
I went to Google Images. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I could describe this in like perfect detail. I opened Canva. I selected the YouTube thumbnail template, deleted everything off the template so I had a blank. I went to Google Images and I searched up echoarena VR. I clicked images and then I scrolled down to the third row. The third row, I found an image that was big enough to fit the YouTube thumbnail, and it was the one that you see on the thumbnail now. I took it and I dragged it and waited about like 3 or 4 seconds for it to upload to Canva, and then I dragged it in. After I watched a YouTube video, and it basically taught me like how to do Canva YouTube thumbnails. And it said, take a box in order to highlight your text. Take a box and put it over the text so then it's highlighted. And I said, okay, why don't we try that? So I put it in the bottom right corner, which thinking about it now probably was not the best idea. I should have done it in the bottom left because the bottom right is where the time code is, and so the text ended up being covered up. But I put down in the bottom right box, and then I clicked the add a text and scroll down until I found the Adumu font. That's what it was called. It's a very weird name. And I typed tips and tricks for beginners, and from there I uploaded it to YouTube, and boom, 100 views the first day.
Wow.
I even remember what I thought I had made it then. Like it was like, you know that feeling when you get a video that like goes viral in your eyes and that like first dopamine rush
Yeah.
that like kind of gets you hooked. Yeah, that happened to me in the first Echo upload. And then after that, it was like, because I was a tank back then. I uploaded like multiple videos a day sometimes, and so I uploaded so many tips and tricks. And one of those, new technique that will help you throw faster, which I learned in a pub that someone taught me, ended up getting, it got 1,000 views on the first day, and then just went all the way to 23,000, and then kind of flatlined, which was tough, but 23,000 is 23,000 views, so I can't complain. And man, from there, my dad sat me down. He's like, "Okay, look, we can see the writing on the wall here, and I know it might be a little hard for you to see it, but with the amount of talent and the opportunity that you have right now, you could go full time with this." And when he told me that, I think it really like hit me. I'm like, I could actually accomplish my dream. And so from there, we went on like that night, we went on like a binge watch of a bunch of how to grow on YouTube videos, like, you know, those ones that talk about like the YouTube gurus. Like, I think I think mainly we watched Alpha Gaming, which I think is called Senpai Gaming now or something. Maybe he's still called Alpha Gaming, but he basically through his channel we were able to get good recommendations for equipment to use. That's how I got my webcam, which is what I still have. I learned the basics of editing better, which I didn't implement for like another 3 weeks for some reason. And yeah, I just kept the same thumbnail style, and that's how it all started. I think after that series, I had about like, I think I was sitting at 500 subscribers, and my dad thought I was gonna hit like 1,000 by like maybe mid-February, but then I don't know. I told my audience, like, hey, the future of this channel, I'm going to do VR stuff. And then my audience was like, I think it's a good road to go down. Actually, one of the commenters on that video was Venom XVR. Shout out to him. He's cool.
Yeah.
But I told my audience, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be making Roblox or anything like that anymore. I'm going to be doing Echo. And after that, I started doing a bunch of VR stuff, but views slowed down because I thought I could just keep doing what I'm doing, getting the same amount of views. Because what I didn't realize is that the reason why it was actually at the time, I'd basically gotten really lucky. Because what I had actually done now that I can see it, is that the Echo beta releasing brought a crap ton of players to Echo, and those players were also looking for Echo content. So Echo content was like at one of its all-time search interests and highs. And when I uploaded that video, YouTube ended up picking it up, and because it was an Oculus Quest video and Echo had been released on the Quest, the search algorithm associated that video with it and pushed it to the top of the search results. And so whenever someone searched Echo, they would find that. And so that's how they got a lot of views. I basically had struck gold in a niche that was just developing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that at the time. I wish I did, because if I did, I would have just kept going with Echo, but I branched off and tried other games. And I'm not like mad that I did that, but man, I probably could have gotten 1,000 subs off of Echo if I had the knowledge that I had now. But yeah. I also started a Twitch around that time and started streaming on that. So, and that's a whole saga within itself. That's like a branch off from the timeline, like a side quest, which we can talk about later.
Well, before we go that way, it feels like YouTube was always the center, or not YouTube, but like content creation is always the center. You don't have a history of like competing in VRML or anything. Is that right?
Nope. I don't have enough time for it.
That's nuts.
Unfortunately, my mom still forces me to have a life. So I mean, no disrespect to them, but I can't be terminally online just yet, guys. I'm sorry, I can't, not yet. Like
but it's basically a full-time job right now, right?
Yeah, it's basically a full-time job, and I'm like, I still have to do volleyball, which I'm glad I did stick with volleyball. Like, I actually recently just had the nationals in Salt Lake City. And I ended up making the all-tournament team, so I'm very happy with myself on that one. So I'm glad I stick with volleyball. It's another passion of mine. Same thing with YouTube. Like, one of the amazing things about YouTube is that, like, if I get big enough to where it's like I can maybe take a couple days off, I'm definitely gonna go play volleyball, and that's what you'll find me doing. But yeah, content creation really has been the center of my life.
Do you live near Utah? Are you're further?
I probably shouldn't be saying this because it's basically a self-doc, so I'm going to be very vague. I moved from California to Utah. Okay. So I'm not going to say where I'm at right now, but if you're a fan of mine, you know where I'm at right now because I've said it on the live stream.
Fair. But that means that you're near Viewey, because Viewey's from Utah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We wanted to kind of hang out with each other, and then I was the one who shut it down. I was like, maybe a 16-year-old going to meet a 20-year-old that he only knows online probably won't be the best idea. It's no disrespect to him, but think about it this way. Fans going to meet their favorite YouTuber. How well has that really gone outside of VidCon? Like, let's be real here.
How about Denver? How about VRMLCon? You didn't fancy going to that?
I couldn't make that because unfortunately I was prepping for the move. I was
Okay.
and also school. School was still going on for me, and that is I'm so mad because so much stuff happened, like the A2 announcement and like the actual, like I would have had so much fun there. And then I guess what? You know how Hex is having their one last LAN?
Yeah.
I can't go to that either.
Why can't you go to that?
Because I'm gonna be moving the rest of my stuff to Utah.
Oh, dude.
It's like, why did it have to be this summer, man? I'm so pissed. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. Maybe I can show up as like on Discord on the big screen or something, but yeah, that's like one of the things that I'm like, I'm so sad that I can't go to that. Because imagine, because the Echo niche is like, a lot of people know me. Like it'd probably be the closest thing I could get to doing like a fan meet and greet, which would be a dream of mine. Like that would be insane. Like tell me that wouldn't be. Imagine if you met a fan in real life. Like tell me that wouldn't be awesome. As long as they aren't like, showing up to like your door or something.
I'm surprised you haven't got the free pass to go to LAN because you haven't done a LAN yet, right?
No,
Is that right?
I haven't done a LAN, and it's not that I haven't got a free pass to go. It's just I can't go. Even if I could have it, my schedule is too tight. I just can't. It just can't be this summer.
That sucks.
I know it's horrible. Maybe I'll be able to attend the next one next summer, but and it's not good. Chance has been wasted.
Let's stay on the subject of Echo just for a second, just to finish that off. So, the shutdown announcement. Could you tell me, like, what was your reaction when you first heard it, and then, like, where are you now with only 10 days left till the shutdown?
Let's see. I was sitting in my chemistry class.
Yeah.
And then I got a bunch of Discord DMs from very concerned fans. I got a DM from Stick telling me, and I got all of this. They're like, "Hey, dude, are you feeling okay? Are you good?" I was like, "Oh gosh, darn it! What? I mean, community loyalty. That's why I like to boast that I have like one of the most loyal communities." But I looked at it and I'm just like, "Wait, what's happening?" And then I got a Google alert because I have Google alerts for different VR news stuff, and it says. The headline directly said, Echo VR just got announced that it will be shutting down. And my heart just sank. I didn't show it because I was in school. And emotions equal bad in school. But I was like, oh no. Because the thing about it is that Echo was kind of like my lifeline. Like most people knew me as an Echo content creator. And that was kind of like, that was my thing. And so after it happened, I was sad for a bit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was pretty sad. I did do a live stream though, where I was talking about it, and I think my community was pretty like concerned with me because I started getting somebody like donated like a good amount of money to me, and I'm like, hey, anybody else in the community, do not sympathy donate me because. I don't want to take their money while everyone's in such a vulnerable state. That'd be the business side of me would have said, heck yeah, let's go for it. But no, that's just unethical. But I did that live stream. I actually broke my viewer record. Like I think it was 30 concurrent viewers at one point. Still haven't been able to reach that, but the shutdown in terms of like, because that was a huge moment for my channel because I ended up experiencing exponential growth in my channel again, which I like to think that it was like a send-off gift before I unfortunately had to become like what I like to call a VR nomad, which are the VR channels that don't really like make any videos on a specific game. I thought I would have landed on Breachers, and Breachers was going well for me the first time, but as it started to pick up hype, I unfortunately got strong-armed out of there by a lot of bigger channels. And it wasn't
Could you talk on that? Because I didn't know that was a thing. What do you mean strong-armed out of it?
So it's competition. So as you may know, common sense, YouTube favors bigger channels. And so when you go onto the search results, you search Breachers VR, my videos would pop up. But since people like Habby, who has like 500,000 subs, Thrill Seeker, and no, not Thrill Seeker, but like Habby, Get Hip, Virtual Panda, Soul Fox, all these bigger creators who are making videos on breachers.
Yeah.
They had their superior tactics, they had a bigger audience, and because of that, they probably also, their videos probably made more money for YouTube. And so when someone search up Breachers VR now, you'll see none of my videos are on there. Even though I think I had like one of the first ever Breachers videos. Like I think I was maybe the third or the fourth Breachers video ever made, like relating to the topic. But like eventually I got to a point where I'm just like, okay, we need to pivot here because I saw, like, I posted a video and I didn't even make it onto the search results. And I'm like, okay, we need to pivot here because this isn't working. And I've basically just been strong armed out of Breachers, which sucks because I really like Breachers. It's a good game, very fun. And I definitely I had a lot more planned for it, but I'm like, we have to pivot here and find another game that we can go to. And still haven't found it, unfortunately. I've still been like using Echo as kind of like a crutch, but now that it's 10 days away, it's like the pressure's really on because after that, it's like you're running off a cliff with a hang glider. And you're running off it. Eventually you're gonna have to start gliding, and if you don't pick up that updraft, you're gonna start falling. So it's kind of scary, but it's also exciting because I've also started to notice that YouTube is starting to recommend me a lot more and browse features. So it's kind of scary, but it's also kind of exciting because of the opportunities. It's like leaving to sail off into the world. I guess
That's very, very poetic the way you put that with the hang glider off the cliff. Is there any other niche that has yet? I think the answer is no, but is there any niche that you've like found and you're feeling good about?
If there was a niche that I would have found, I would have bet we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah, fair. You would have moved on.
I'm still finding it, and I'm glad that I was at the size that I was. I'm glad that Echo was able to give me that size, because now game developers are actually reaching out to me for early access so I can get in on that foot. Like Hex, for example, I'm pretty known in Hex, and that's good. Like I'm known as like the Echo remakes news guy. So in like that terms, like people look to me for Echo remake news, and whenever they see it, they're like, "Oh, Echo remake, gotta click," and those are like, I'd say right now on the Trentic channel, that's probably some of the more popular stuff is my VR news on the Echo remakes. So I can at least continue in some way, shape, or form with those. But the way I see it, like, and I tried doing, because I thought I may have had a chance, like, to basically recreate what I had with my, with like the Echo VR tips and tricks on the first time. But what I started to notice is that I put out too much stuff, and those audiences started to lose interest. Like, as you mentioned before, like I'm sure at the beginning, as you mentioned, you were getting a lot of content pings, and a lot of them were from me, and I was talking about all the Echo remakes. And while it may have been good, what I was noticing is that less and less people are starting to watch it. I'm like, okay, I have to use this content ping sparingly now. Because if I keep pushing it on these people, then eventually it's going to hurt Hex. People are going to unselect the role, and then it's going to be meaningless. And that would also hurt all the other creators like Condog or Felix or any of the other like official verified content creators. And some of them are smaller than me, so like that's not fair that I would just abuse it and then completely just leave it out. But yeah, I'm still fine. I'm still trying to find that game, but right now hasn't happened yet.
What are your recent thoughts on the remakes? So generally the remake, not just Hex, not just A2. I know there's a couple others as well. Like, how are you feeling about that? Are you like, what do you think about the variety, or do you think it will be like a monopoly eventually?
Honestly, I don't know how to feel about them. It's such a gray area for me, and something that I'm completely inexperienced in, that it's exciting to see, and it's good that I have like content to make about it, but I only know the creators of the smaller ones. Like I know Cade, the head developer of Hex, and I know like the developers for Rebounders and some of the smaller Echo VR remakes. I feel like I would be in more of a position to talk about it though if I was able to like be in contact with like Lemming and stuff, which I could have been if I went to VRMLCon and actually got a chance to speak with him, like get my foot in the door. So yeah, as stated, missed opportunity. I feel like I'd be in more of a position to speak on everything if I knew what was going on with every remake. Because I know what's going on with the majority, but not everyone. And the big one is the one that I don't know, which is, of course, A2. Like, I don't even
They
know if they're
are
going to give me a
being
react.
yeah. Oh,
They're
well,
being
hopefully
very
you will do.
discreet.
Yeah, they are. Like even I was trying to get like NTS fans to come on a second time and talk, but they've all got very like they
They got, like,
appreciate the
NDAs.
reaching out, but yeah, they've all got very tight now. Like they're even uncomfortable talking about Echo, even Echo,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
nothing to do with
even
A2.
Echo. I think, which if that's the case, like if the indies are that strict, I'm happy that A2 like isn't reaching out to me. Like I'm sure I like to think that they're aware of me, like they're at least aware of me, like they know that I exist, but I'm not reaching like the general Echo VR audience, like the ones that Stick or Carter Todd 2 reach that get tens of thousands of views. I want to know where they finding those viewers and how I can reach them, but I don't know. Unfortunately. Maybe it's just a size thing, but yeah, I don't really. I feel like if I was able, like even under an NDA, I could still say like I could be like, oh, I'm very excited with the way things are going, even though I can't speak on it. But I actually don't know the way that things are going on it for fully, which kind of sucks because I'm kind of trusted to be the news source. But hey, you kind of just see it as it goes.
Do you have like plan Bs and plan Cs for say there is just zero news, say Hex goes quiet, rebounders, nothing really happens, and A2 gets delayed. Is there anything else you'd fall back to, or would you just take a break?
Well, usually it would have been Hex. I mean, not Hex.
Yeah,
It would have been Echo. But now that Echo's
right.
shutting down, like my plan B, it's like having a plan. It's like having a plan A, but plan B just gets swiped under you. So right now we're kind of just going at it. But right now I'm a nomad. I'm traveling. I'm traveling to different places. I'm visiting different niches. I'm seeing what works, what doesn't. Like I've made some great friends. Like in the breachers niche, I know FN hate it. I've made contact with people like virtual, I think it's virtual panda, I think it was, who I played Among Us VR with. I visited the Ghost of Tabor niche. Great niche, super cool. The growth would have been there if I was able to tap into it, and I even talked to some of the creators, like shout out Timeless. He helped me like try to break into the niche, but unfortunately we just couldn't. Which I think he was able to, though, which I'm happy for him because now he's at like, I think he's growing exponentially. Like I think he's almost at 30K and he was like at 20K like a week ago. He's definitely hitting he's definitely hitting 100K. But yeah, I visited the Ghost of Tabor niche, had some pretty nice success with Blacktop Hoops, which is like a virtual
Yeah, the
reality street
basketball.
ball game.
Yeah,
Yeah. But unfortunately, the community is just too small, mainly
right.
because gym class overtook the a majority of the market in VR basketball, which sucks because the shooting mechanics and dribbling and all of it sucks. I hate it. Blacktop Hoops is way better, but yeah, bit unfortunate.
What
Still
else
haven't
are
found it
you
though.
curious about? Is the next question I'm going to ask, but it's kind of a leading question because I know you're into volleyball. You've mentioned that
Yeah,
you were playing at nationals in Utah recently.
yeah.
Is there anything else that is just like a general interest, even completely outside of YouTube, like nothing to do with this niche of VR?
Um, like, does that include like just like does that include like video? Can I like say like specific video games?
Literally anything. Like where if with Echo gone and say there's no news about Echo remakes, like what's left? What else is going on at the moment?
Nothing really. I'm just moving. It's been my life and it's
Yeah.
what I'm happy with it being. Some people might call that sad. Like I know a lot of people who would be like, "Oh, so you have no depth to your life. You just do this like a puppet or something like that." Man, I don't know what's up with me today. I keep coughing.
COVID.
Probably. But I I honestly do not care what other people think about it, what they think about my life or what I'm going to do with it because at the end of the day it's something that I'm happy doing, so why should I care what they say?
And have you ever taken a break from YouTube, or have you been pretty consistent the last 4 years?
Have I ever? I actually have to think on this because I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever like taken a break from YouTube, like an official break. Like I'm like, hey guys, I'm not gonna be posting. I'm never gonna. Yeah, I've definitely branched off. Like one of the hugest mistakes I made with my YouTube channel was back when YouTube Shorts first released. I made a Minecraft Skywars short while I was making my VR videos. Like I don't know why I did that, but it ended up getting 29,000 views. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I went viral. I'm going to do Minecraft forever now. And then I went on like a brief stint where I made just Minecraft videos. Horrible idea on my part. Because then my VR audience obviously didn't watch it. And then I was just, and then it was bad. It was bad. But then I pulled an Eminem and I just went snap back to reality. And then I was like, wait, I make VR videos. What am I doing? and then I went back to making VR videos. So that was, but yeah, that was not my proudest moment. But I do have a Minecraft channel now. So whenever I get that outlet or that feeling, I do have a Minecraft channel, and it's good. Like I actually at one point I used that Minecraft channel to experiment because I was like, oh, I wonder, because one thing I doubted myself with was I thought like, oh, the only reason why my like career in YouTube is happening is because of Echo VR, and I would never be able to like survive if Echo VR shut down, which funny enough, it ended up happening, but I was kind of doubting my abilities a bit. And so what I did was I set up the experiment where I took my main commentary style and I translated it over to Minecraft. And there were these there was a Minecraft server that was being released. And it was a new one. It was called Tubnet, which was made by one of the biggest Minecraft YouTubers named Tubbo. He's like a Dream SMP guy. And so I ended up I was like, okay, well, let's see. I have a piece of news here, not related to VR. I have a Minecraft channel that I could post this on. Let's see if I can actually take the knowledge that I have from my VR channel and translate it to a different niche. And spoiler alert, it actually went pretty well. That video has 10,000 views now, and
Nice.
it went really well. So it was really good for me because it at least told me like, if push comes to shove and there's ever a reason why I wouldn't be able to post VR content, I can still make a YouTube channel that isn't related to it, and I can basically come back from anything. Like it was good. I was like, I can do this. I can do it. That's kind of a plan B, I guess, if you want to call it. Like, or maybe like that's a plan D. Like, if everything else fails, we'll just find something else to do. I have plenty of channels, plenty of foundations. I can do whatever I want.
I want to slowly start like bringing this back now, wrapping this up. But I'm keen to get your opinion on this, Trentic. What you've always been standalone. You've never done PCVR, is that right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the latest headset? So we've got the Bigscreen PCVR headset.
Yeah, Ready Player One type thingy.
Exactly. We've got the Apple headset announced. Quest 3 has been announced.
Glorified iPhone. Quest 3, we love to see it.
Yeah, how do you feel about the next generation that are coming out soon?
Okay.
Or already out?
Bigscreen. Yeah. Holy crap, that's genius. Ready Player One, headset. Apple Vision Pro, glorified iPhone. Frig you, no one's gonna buy it. Quest 3, you're made by a horrible company, but you're still cool, so I'm taking you with me. Boom. That's my opinions.
Fair play.
I know. You drop that. That Vision Pro touches a piece of the ground, it's shattering. You take it to an Apple genius who gets paid $16 an hour to fix it for you. It costs like $3,000. It's like, bro, that is a scam and a half. Pass.
Okay, I've got another question for you. Chip or no chip?
Oh, right, you do this thing with the Neuralink.
Yes, yes. You're the first person ever to know.
I watch your podcast. Yes. Woo! Yeah. So, depend. I really, because I feel like what would be cool, like I know in like the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, they have instead of having chips, they basically have like on their necks, they have like adapters that basically put the chips in and then it connects to their brain.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as the chip can be removed, go for it. But if it's like directly lodged into your brain, it's like, oh heck no. One hacker gets into that, causes the EMP, that thing explodes, you just dead. I'm like, oh heck nah. That's a pass and a half. So yeah, I'd say chip as long as it's safe.
That's a really good answer. I haven't had that before. So having like an eject button.
Yeah,
like
basically
a
having an
safety.
eject, so then you don't absolutely die. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why Elon Musk didn't think about that, but
Well, let's
yeah.
propose it. I hope they implement that, and then you get the credit for it.
Tesla's co-founder and CEO will listen to 3,000 subscriber YouTuber from EchoVR niche. Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but it's that's definitely like the safer option. Either that or just turn that big screen headset into AR and call it good or something. Or actually, you know, it'd be really cool. Contact lenses. VR or no, not VR. AR contact lenses.
Yeah.
You get the same thing out of it, because I'm sure most of what you want to do is, you know, just see stuff and like connect. You get that stuff out of it, be able to track you and all that, and you could take them off at any time. Problem solved. Then the debate is over. Just make contact lenses. Just don't soak them in
Trentic,
water.
we're going to wrap this up now. Is there anything else that you want to say? Any other shout outs or anything that you just want to mention on the show?
Yeah. Shout out to Money Mitch podcast. Shout out to Condogs, the internet podcast one. That's also a very epic podcast.
Internet 2.0.
Yeah. Shout out to my regulars and my members who are Mr. Stick. We got Formal Quack, Evany, who's a regular donator, and man, oh my gosh, I have so many supporters. I'm trying to name them all. But shout out to my audience. Y'all are very epic. Let's see, what else do I want to shout out? Trentic Live. He's a very cool dude. Go find him on Twitch. He's a very small streamer. I know I'm very good at shouting out small streamers. And yeah. Subscribe now. Do it. Subscribe to the channel. Do it now. Okay. You can end it there.
We're going to end it now here, Trentic. I do want to say that I really thought it was daily, but you seem incredibly consistent. You're pumping out the videos. I remember messaging you about a month ago now, saying like, "Hey, like this is really good."
I saw that message. It was very epic.
You're doing very well, and I can tell like your mind's in the right place. You've been doing it for like what 4 years. It sounds like you were looking at videos before then as well. You're on the right trajectory.
You can go find them in the playlist section.
I'm excited to see in the what do you call it? What do you call it? You said you were jumping off the cliff with the kite.
The hang glider. You're just excited to see if I catch the updraft or if I slowly fade into oblivion.
I think you're an absolutely epic part of your journey, and I think there's a reason why you've got so many subscribers already. It's exciting. I'm excited to see where you land.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care, dude. Great to speak to you.
Yep. See you at Echo Shutdown.